Hearing of the Board of Zoning and Building Codes of Appeal is now called to order at 6:30 on November 20th. And I ask the recording secretary, please call roll call for the attendance of the members of the board. One of you gentlemen, please do roll call.
Mr. Alfredo,
Here.
Mr. Pilato,
Here.
Mr. Ferraro,
Here.
Robert, what's your last name?
Scott.
Mr. Scott. Yeah.
And Mr. Scott.
Here.
Also present from the building department is zoning inspector Chris Hall and building official Nino Monaco. Mark's not here this evening. All persons in the audience are required to sign in a registered sheet, which you all did. If you have not done so already, please do. If you wish to speak at this hearing, you will be required to be sworn in as any court hearing. And for the board, minutes of the last meeting,
Make a motion that we approve minutes from last month.
I second the motion.
okay, roll call. Chris?
Mr. Scott,
You can abstain if you want.
Abstain.
Mr. Pilato,
Yes.
Mr. Ferraro,
Yes.
Mr.
Thank you.
Alfredo.
Yes.
All persons wishing to speak on this issue will please raise their right hand. Okay, and affirm this oath. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will be given before this board is to the best of your knowledge and accurate and truthful presentation of the facts? If so, say I do.
I do.
Now in turn, please state your name and relationship to the case for the tape recording by voice recognition. We'll do that when you come up, okay, and present your case, all right? This hearing will be held and conducted in accordance with the provision of the Ohio Sunshine Law. The notice of the hearing was duly published in the newspaper in general circulation in the city of Macedonia. The notice is available for review upon request at the building department. The rules of the board require an affirmative vote of 3 members in order to pass, regardless of the number of members present at the hearing. The hearing is conducted in an informal manner to review the evidence and to respond to questions. However, there is an outline of steps that will be taken in that order. An appellant does not have to be present for the board to hear the case as publicized. Each member of the case of appeals request will be announced in its turn. And our first case will be 709. 708. Oh, I'm sorry, 708. All right. Is there any correspondence from notified adjacent property owners?
I do have correspondence.
Okay, would you please read it?
This is for Virginia Hanna and Arthur Hanna. We just received the notification of the variance request and wanted to send our support for this project. Our home is next door to the Cappies at 875 Ledge Road, and we agreed that the addition of the 1,200-foot garage is necessary. Mr. Cappy often has large trucks at his property, and having a garage large enough to house them would be beneficial to all of us. We completely support this variance. Thanks, Art and Ginger Hanna.
Will the zoning inspector now please state the city's position?
The Board of Zoning and Building Code Appeals will hear a request for an area variance at 865 Ledge Road. The variance request is to section 1163.02H2. A maximum of 1 detached private garage with a maximum area not exceeding 600 square feet shall be permitted on a lot. The applicant is requesting a 600-foot variance to have a 1,200 square foot garage.
Does any board members have any questions to the city? Is there anybody here on this case?
Yes.
Would you please come up here? Yeah.
He's gonna say, oh, yeah, sorry.
Could you please state your name for the voice recognition?
Carlton Caffey.
And you,
Kimberly Cappy.
thank you very much. Board, do you have any questions to the city? Rob?
I do not have any questions.
Dick? No. Okay. Would you please state your case and explain what you want?
Well, we want to put up a 1,200 foot garage because I also have plow trucks that I can't fit in the garage with the plow on them. And our yard is sloped so much, we don't have enough room to, put all the cars in the driveway, so we need that additional space. I also have a couple antique cars that I want to bring home during retirement, so I can have a place to work on those. And we have 2 kids that's in the Macedonia school system, where one just graduated and they drive too, so it's just a parking.
So you're looking for 1,200 square foot is what you're looking for. It's 100% more than the allowed or permitted on the lot.
Yes. We're about less than 1/10 of an acre shy of it. I thought it when I bought, I had a full acre, but I wasn't sure. We didn't check into it. So we're 100, about 400. We're less than 1/10 of an acre shy of not needing a variance at all.
The blueprints they're okay. They're
Yeah.
nothing spectacular. Could you just give us, the board, kind of a rundown? I take it this is the house?
Yeah, this is the house, this is the driveway, and it's actually 200, the building will start 217 feet from the sidewalk.
So if you put the garage here,
It's 217 feet from the street.
okay, and it's gonna be all concrete to the driveway, to the
Well,
garage?
yes, it's already concrete out there, yes.
All the way to the
Well,
garage?
to right to the back of the house.
But if you put this up,
Eventually, we'll
whether it's a
concrete.
600,
Yes.
1,200 square foot,
Yes,
there's gonna be concrete all the way there?
yes, sir.
So it's not a pole barn, or
No.
it's actual garage?
No. And it's also it's more than 150. I measured it yesterday from the property line back to the house. And then it's all woods here, all the way back, and all this is woods all the way back. Yeah, I do have pictures. They're not great, but will show, yeah, kind of the landscape of the yard. Okay. And the property goes all the way back through the woods to the
great.
end.
Do you have a picture of the truck that got in or
Right
What
now,
kind of truck are we talking?
we're talking about a pickup, a dually, a F-350.
dually
Yeah,
pickup
yeah,
truck?
a F-350 dually, yes.
This is commercial business, or
No,
is this just residential?
Just residential.
So you just plow your drive, you don't do other drives, it's not commercial then?
No, all my commercial business is domiciled in Cleveland.
And you have a 2-car garage, 2.5-car garage now, right?
That's full.
I think this is your property too, is it?
Yes.
I'll give you a second.
It's hard to see from the street.
Yeah, I know, right, yeah, and the pictures are kind of,
The statement from your neighbor, where are they in relationship to your home?
there to the,
On here, if you don't mind.
You can look at it on this, they're,
Oh, yeah.
the ones
yes.
that's called on my head, they're in this house. Right there.
To the right of you.
To the,
Yeah.
so it'd be
Look
over
at
here.
the street.
Yes.
Yeah, right here.
And these people didn't comment?
No. That was only,
They did
they
acknowledge
did
to us that
acknowledge
they
us
received the
verbally
letter.
that it was okay, and they received the letter.
anything else you'd like to add?
Other than I really want to put this up, so when she put me out the house, I have a place to stay other than that. Okay.
I got one right there.
Gentlemen, any other questions?
My only hang up, I noticed in the email with the dumping factors in C, you had said the requested detached garage is a substantial or necessary addition you continue on. That's one of the things that we have to consider is it substantial? The thing that I'm hung up on is 100% of increase from the code is likely, I would consider substantial. I think you agreed it here too.
Well, it's several properties like on that street with 600 square feet. I mean, it's like all over that has less than an acre.
1,200.
Oh, yeah, with 1,200.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt, just 2 doors down, 3 doors down, right on the corner, you know, so.
Do you have any
Information,
on
yes, I
those?
do.
You do?
Uh-huh. And, they have 1,200 square feet, we don't have the addresses. And,
You don't know when to put them up either.
Given the
right,
fact
right,
that
right, uh-huh.
the other
Yeah.
neighbors are already at that point, his driveway, his double wide driveway is leading right to the building that's not there, and harmonious with the neighborhood. I would make the motion to approve.
Any second?
I second that motion.
Chris, roll call, please.
Mr. Scott?
Do you say yes
To
or
approve.
to approve?
To
Yes,
approve 708.
yes.
Mr. Pilato?
Yes.
Mr. Ferraro?
Yes.
Mr. Arfree?
Yes.
Case 708 has been approved for your bill.
Thank you for your detailed information.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Case 709, appeal for this order, the secretary, is there any well, actually, case 709, Chris,
No correspondence?
no correspondence at all
No,
from property owners or adjacent?
no.
Okay. Will the zoning inspector please read the city's position?
The Board of Zoning and Building Code Appeals will hear a request for an area variance at 1411 East Twinsburg Road. The variance request is to section 1169.04F4. The minimum setback shall be 300 feet for outdoor storage areas adjacent to residentially zoned land. The applicant is requesting a variance of 200 feet to have a setback of 100 feet from the east property line.
Does the board have any questions to the city? And whoever is here for the case, would you please come sit up here? If you need more chairs, bring some chairs.
My name's Matt Plesnick, I'm the architect, the owner's architect. I'm here with the owners. You can introduce yourself.
Yep.
Kyle DeRosa. Ryan DeRosa.
And we're here with
I'm CJ Natali.
our construction manager.
Okay.
So we are looking for a variance. As I've mentioned, I believe this section that was quoted requires a 300-foot setback from the side yard. So, here's our plan. This is the residentially zoned area. Our lot width is only about 204, so it's practically, we can't, we don't have enough lot width for that. So we're asking for a variance. We have a 100-foot yard setback, which is the same as the building setback. And along with that, a couple other main points just to kind of consider. So in addition to you see the area here that we're asking for the variance for the outdoor storage? Correct.
Which is back here,
Yeah.
behind the building.
Here's the road, Twinsburg Road. Building is pretty far setback as is. So here's our proposed new building, including some parking and some turnaround. Here's
This is
the,
a proposed new building?
yep, proposed new,
So what building you have now? Is there anything in there now?
it's vacant. There's an existing house here. Do you see the red hatch area?
Okay,
That will be demolished and removed completely. So we'll have a proposed new building here, associated parking, turnaround for drives, and, you could pull inside. A storage building essentially, with a small office component in the front. And in the back, behind the building, we're looking to utilize that area for outdoor storage. So this area that's currently proposed on the plan, it's not likely we're gonna use it all right from the beginning, but we'd like to ask for this area, sort of as a allotted area. So as the business grows, it'll likely grow into this outdoor storage area.
this is all residential on this side, correct?
So that's correct.
This is residential back here, and on this, all three sides are residential.
On this side back here, it's commercial, general
Okay.
industrial. This side here is also commercial, general, what does it say? Is it general industry?
That's Sagamore Soils
Yeah.
next door.
This is a soil supply company
Okay.
next door, which is a very similar use to what we're proposing here.
So that's it's way back off the road.
Yeah, so
Correct,
this
correct.
property sits about
Yeah.
500 feet in. is
So
where
the
it's
only-
sitting on the property.
The only residential is just on this side, which is to the east.
That's
Right
Twins-
here.
That's the Twinsburg Corporation line
Correct.
as well.
This here.
So the residences are in Twinsburg.
Yeah, well,
You see the
residence,
line?
residence. I understand, right.
So this is residential, and although this is zoned residential, this is actually a vacant lot.
Okay.
So this is residential up here.
property? This is the property,
Uh,
is this, do I have the right?
Yes.
I was looking at it, I couldn't understand it.
So this is Sagamore Soils?
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is you guys?
Yes.
Where's the building, the existing residential building
Right
on
about
this
there.
drawing? So can you see this from the road?
No.
And this residential area adjacent to you,
Right.
is it buildable without the removal of one of these three properties?
There's a drive, but I believe they would,
It's a township service drive.
yeah.
There's it's basically a creek, essentially.
It's owned by the city of Twinsburg.
And would you be able to maintain 300 feet from maybe this point
We
of this
do.
residential property?
We
that
do.
way?
Yeah, that's correct.
Which one did you point to, sorry?
This residential, currently being used as
Oh, I see.
residential
Right.
property.
Just to kind of put it into perspective, so
Yeah.
it's highly wooded at the front and down that side of the property.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever even noticed your
It's a
property.
very-
This is my backyard, and I hear Sagamore Soils.
Yeah, we're hitting.
Maybe I hear you guys.
We don't have any machinery like that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Our-
A couple other questions besides, go ahead, Rob, I'm sorry.
Yeah, once again, harmonious with the use of the neighborhood now on the edge of the neighborhood on adjacent to a residential area that's not usable.
Well, that's what, we don't know it's not usable.
We don't know that. I mean,
We have
I
to,
mean,
Twinsburg, you had to get a letter or bring something in that said it was not
I
usable.
believe.
the adjacent owners were made aware of this, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We spoke with the owner of Sagamore Soils.
And
What-
Sagamore Soil owns the residential area also?
I'll tell you that.
And when you say storage, what kind of storage? What materials or what are you gonna put back there?
They have equipment, they have a skid steer loader, they have some trucks that they will put in there, potentially put some, other landscape type equipment, trailers, potentially. And the intent is to go ahead and build a landscape berm, significant landscape berm, up and along the east property line. And then the actual outside storage area would be fenced.
we'd have a fence, an opaque fence along this line. And these were also,
Along which-
That black line?
yeah, see this heavy dashed black line would be an opaque fence, so that,
On one side of the property only?
correct, on the residential side, shielding against this residential side.
And this is open to Sagamore soils on their
It's- Yeah,
side?
it's open to Sagamore soils.
This is all gonna be concrete or paved?
So,
Not currently, no. Not until there comes a point in time where we're actually use it. We're actually standing in front of BZA right now to know that we could have access and be able to put that storage to the exterior, that they have the ability to store in the exterior of their property, which is in line with their building. So they have the ability to expand into that area and store trailers and store equipment that will not necessarily fit in their garage at this point in time.
Well, I mean, okay, if you're gonna store equipment and everything else back there, what, on grass, mud, or?
No, it would be stored on gravel, we put a gravel driveway down in there.
I thought the city is concrete or asphalt, is what.
so that is something,
They're not here for the storage tonight.
Okay.
That would be another,
Right,
another
okay.
meeting, okay?
we were
So,
made aware of that at
yeah.
planning commission.
So
Okay,
we just
that's
here-
good, as long as you're dealing with the planning commission on it, that's fine.
And just to kind of speak on this also,
Go
so
ahead.
as of right now, our current situation is business. With this building and this parking lot that you see paved here and this paved driveway, we won't need to utilize this right now. This is more of a down the road, we just want to make sure, so if it's available, when we do need to, if we need to pave more of the parking lot to use it, then we do, but this is more or less the, as of right now, our stuff would fit in this building.
It's really, I mean, it's hidden back here, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
It's all the way back by the soil.
Yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that the city requirement is 100-foot setback for a building off of a residential property.
It is, yeah.
Building or storage, I think, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing we're asking is that we be allowed to store inside that same 100-foot as the building has.
So that requirement that we're asking for a variance from, there is sort of a two-part. It says that, the first part is outdoor storage area shall have the same side and rear yard setbacks as building. So that part we're conforming to. It's the second part that we need to ask a variance from, which is that they require 300 foot from, the residential property line.
And you
And
required 150 foot, though, that's what you're asking.
we're asking for 100 foot. And that's because number one, our lot isn't big enough, isn't wide enough, and number two,
So your 100 foot you want from back here, is what you're saying?
say that again, sorry.
Where are you asking for your variance on
Oh,
there?
from this, yeah, from this property
From the
line,
residential to
There's
the
a-
to
property?
here,
There should be a line right here, from the black
Correct.
line to the red line.
yeah,
Right.
100 foot.
Yeah, I was confused with that as well.
There's it says, what does it say? 100 foot side yard setback, this dash line.
This white one?
Yeah, well, that's the line that, this is Twinsburg, this is Macedonia,
Mm-hmm.
but this dash line, it runs through the fence, and then it continues up here. This is at 100 foot setback line. So we'd be conforming to the same as the building. It's just, we wouldn't be conforming to the 300 foot part of that section of code.
Any other questions from the board?
I do not. Looks like a very nice improvement.
Thank you.
If you,
Appreciate that.
if you had a 300-yard setback, you'd be well into the Sagamore.
Correct.
And we only have a 204-foot wide property.
Right.
Yeah, and just to add to that, if this property here with this house on it is residential, none of the parcels that Sagamore Soils have or you have would be away from that 300. If you're roughly 200, it's 246. So they would be able to store something in the center of their property, but that's about it.
Yeah, not even that.
No, it's, you know,
It's impossible,
Yeah.
it's not even possible. Could we make the approval conditional on the fence?
Sure. If that's how you wanna make a motion, we could do
There's always a possibility.
it, conditional on the fence.
And the fence would have to be, approved, go through the approval process.
Right.
Type of fence and the height.
An approval process with who?
With the building department, and then we'll figure out, the height and the, the type of fence you can put up there.
Okay.
Just thinking
Yeah.
in case this residential was ever developed.
Yeah, then there will be no problem, okay, because it'll be set up right from the beginning.
What if we just tell you we'll put a fence up if we're gonna use it and get it over with?
Yeah, you don't have to put a fence up.
In the proposed screening, I think I saw proposed,
Get a hold of Nino and Chris and do it, but make the motion with, do that.
the potential landscape for mounting, that's an easy task for you guys also, right? So maybe you just, park some of your soil there and create that mound now, and, some of these things could just be
Yeah.
resolved now.
Yep. And I'd like to make a motion to approve case
709?
709, with the condition that if it were to be used, that a fence would be constructed.
Privacy fence.
Yeah.
Privacy.
An approved fence, yes.
I second the motion. All in favor, would you please do a roll call?
Mr. Scott?
Yes, I approve.
Mr. Pilato?
Yes.
Mr. Ferraro?
Yes.
Mr. Arfrey?
Yes.
Case 709 has been approved.
Thank
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and I'd love to have you come to planning commission and make that comment for us. It's a beautiful improvement. Mr. Hall, I'm CJ Natale, it's good to see you. Neil, it's great to see you. Thank you. Gentlemen, have a good evening.
You too.
I hope you guys are all good to go. You should have said your class.
Thank you. Good night now.
Thank you, everybody. Grab my tail. I got you.
Okay. Next case is, on behalf of Chris Posey, TMA Architects, I guess. And that will be case 710. Will the zoning inspector please state the city's position? And if you'd like to come up, whoever would like to come up, please come up.
Board of Zoning and Building Code Appeals will hear a request for an area variance at 1325 East Highland Road. The variance request is to section 1169.04 F4. Outdoor storage areas shall have the same side and rear yard setbacks as the building pursuant to subsection F3 The applicant is requesting a variance of 9 feet to have a 6-foot side yard setback at the east property line, and this is one of two. One for the east, I believe, and one for the west.
Okay, and I should have asked you, is there any correspondence from any notified adjacent property owners?
There's no correspondence.
No one solicit correspondence at all? Okay. Does the board have any questions for the city? Gentlemen, state your case, please.
My name is Sean Thompson, TMA Architects, representing Chris Posey, the owner, and Nick, the owner's representative.
I'll let you look in yours up there.
Flip this around, so.
Too many. Yeah, we'll just do it.
I have 11 by 17 too, if that's easier, but it's a
No,
little
this is
easier to
good.
read this.
Go ahead,
Um,
let's see your presentation, please.
So we have a lot 200 feet wide, 600 feet deep, so depth not an issue. The width, it's a little narrow for an industrial lot. We have this wetland area in the front that we're going to preserve as well as use for our detention. Our building sits on the west side. Basically, we looked at a lot of options, but that's really the only place that fits.
It's a proposed building, right?
Proposed building, yes.
There's no.
There's nothing on this site right now.
Thank you.
Correct. realistically, because of this wetland and detention, the only place we can bring a drive in is along the east side. So the building really had to go here. The building sits here. Chris has these outdoor storage bins for landscaping materials. And the reason why we were looking for the variance is just driven off of, we have this 90-foot sort of space between here to be able to turn vehicles. And I did bring, which was not in the original, but based on the trucks that he's bringing in, they're actually looking for a 45 to 46 foot turning radius. So the whole thing that's driving this was, that's the space that we needed, and we kept it 10 feet from the west property line, 6 foot from the east, mostly because of keeping this drive coming in nice and straight. Push that to 6. It was also a little easier to resolve the grading along the east side and give us a little more room to resolve the grading on the west side. We feel that, that we did the building up front, we didn't need to pull it closer, so we honored the 15-foot setback for the building. We didn't need any change there. It's really just for the storage bins in the very back half of the property. They're 320 feet off the road. This adjacent lot has a parking lot all the way down this side, and then this is all sort of unmaintained scrub and trees. And then on this side, there are woods up against here. The adjacent property has a detention basin, and their building is over here. So we don't believe there's any adverse effects to the neighbor on either side to be a little bit closer to the lot line. And again, just in terms of truck safety and traffic flow back here, that was what was driving our request.
I do have a quick question for the city. Do you know if there are any concerns or issues on this property with getting vehicles, like emergency or utility or anything like that between the two properties?
No, they were just at, weren't you at?
We were at planning commission on Monday night.
I don't know the results of the planning commission meeting.
Okay.
There was an issue was with the fire hydrant. I believe there's one that's in Twinsburg Township, is that correct?
Yeah, we went back, and we're gonna respond to planning commission about that, because the way it's not appropriate for this meeting, but the way we understood the code was any building beyond 300 feet from the road, and the back of our building was at 298. So we were unsure where the requirement for a yard hydrant came, because that doesn't seem to be outlined in your code that way. So we might need some follow-up on that piece.
Well, yeah, they came from
But and we will probably we may be coming back for a variance. The civil engineer is checking. We are exceeding the allowable driveway width at the property line. But again, we did this based on trying to get safe traffic in and out without crossing the center line of the road. But we'll address that at a later date.
Is this close to the previous case? Like right on the line?
It's there.
Yeah, just kidding. What type of business?
Landscape supplies?
Landscape.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
And you said these were all,
So those are gonna be like the 2x2x6 coffin blocks, bin blocks. How high are we stacking them?
3 high.
6
3
feet
high.
high.
So obviously, with, if you get this approval, your storage capacity goes up tremendously.
I don't think it's about the storage capacity, I think it's about the safety of the trucks being able to radiate any.
So are these bins, the 18 by 30 bins, is that a standard size bin?
Yeah, there's not really a standard
So,
size bin.
so you make those with the blocks?
Yes, sir.
They're mobile, they're not.
Yeah, so you could make those just slightly, put a couple less and maintain the city.
Well, they're like Lego, right? So
Yeah.
they're 6 foot by 2 foot. So
Mhm.
we can't like just
Eliminate
cut
it.
2 feet off of them, they're gonna kind of be in.
So you would have to
6 foot
take 6 feet
increments.
off, yeah.
Correct.
And the variance we're looking for on this side from 9 feet to what?
We're looking from 15 to 6, so we're looking to reduce that by 9 feet.
Yeah,
And on
so
the other side from 15 to 10.
15 to 10, so that one could easily be solved with a 1 block. And if you did that over here on this side, if you created this one a little bit smaller, you could get really, really close. If you're not worried about, you know, the capacity.
Well, the capacity, I guess I misunderstood. I thought you were asking if we could put like larger or more material.
Yeah, I just don't understand why we can't just make the bins smaller and follow, you know.
Because the semis, when they bring in 25 tons at a time, they would not be able to displace 25 tons in a new bin if you made it smaller. So I apologize, I misunderstood.
Oh,
I thought you meant
so
more
if you
volume.
made the depth less, you could just make it wider then, so that you could create that
At
volume.
that point,
You're looking
it
at
would
cubic
limit-
feet.
Right, but at
Yeah.
that point, it would limit our product capability. So if we went wider, then it would limit our product capability. We wouldn't be able to hold, we wouldn't be able to have enough bins to hold all the material.
Mhm.
So you're saying each one of these bins is a different material?
Yes, sir, that's,
Is what
yes,
you're- what
yes,
you're
sir,
telling
yes,
us.
yes. Each one of those bins is a separate material, correct.
Are there any,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are there any easements on either side? I know I asked about utility and about city
So-
stuff, but.
So we do have an access easement to this back property. And Chris can explain the history of that better. And he is trying to get in touch with the people who have that easement, that we would still maintain their access to the back property. But again, we were gonna build, or these temporary bins would go in that easement.
Would you have to go through Twinsburg Township to get?
No.
No.
Okay.
Who has that easement? Residential or a person or
No,
a
it's
company?
It's the adjacent property owner. It's not a government easement, it's an easement from one property owner to
The
another.
owners of the Penske building, or Fujifilm, the long precast tilt-up, they own the lot behind it, so it's with the group that owns that.
And their issue is the geology and the geography here, they own this property, but they can't get to this lot through here. So their only way to get to this lot that they own from this lot that they own is actually this way, but I don't know if they've ever even been back.
And where's the easement here
It's
on,
not buildable.
is this easement on your property?
Yes, it's 30 feet. It's this light dashed line.
So how would,
How would they get back there if it's this line here?
On this roadway right to the back. Whoever builds first, the way the easement's written is whoever builds first is responsible to put the roadway in. So if we weren't gonna build a building on that property and they wanted to access it, they would have to put a roadway in. Since we're deciding that we wanna build first, as long as we provide a roadway for them to access to this back property.
So show me where the roadway's gonna be that you're gonna put in.
This is all gonna go straight back to them.
Okay, so when your trucks come in to dump into here, they're coming down this roadway?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And
As
that's
long as
why-
we don't, as long as we don't, I don't know what word you use, close that in or stop that.
Enclose it.
Enclose.
That's one of the reasons why we didn't continue these bins down around, was to maintain that space.
Nino, you have anything to add?
No, there was a lengthy discussion about that easement, and it was brought up by the city engineer, and I think it's something that they need to work out.
Between the engineer and them,
Correct.
which we'll let Brian handle that.